Hello everybody, my name is Adam and we are back in Planet Zoo today where we will be creating a habitat for the lovely Alpine Ibex. And the first thing I like to do with all my habitats is create the barrier first, the thing what separates the animal to the guest. And we did this in a custom way once again. I always like to create custom stuff, so I used the log pieces, the mesh pieces, some wooden pieces what looks a bit tarted to give it that more realistic feel, and then to add a bit more detail in, I added a rope on the top, and I'm really happy with how it came out looking. And then it was just a matter of placing the habitat barriers in place where our main viewing area for our guest will be. You can see here I created a little moat as well to separate the animals from the barrier, and just added some simple rock work, again just trying to make it much more cleaner and more realistic. And then I went to town with a bit of terrain work and created a little stream, as you can see here. And I skipped the rock work, so let's add that by the power of editing. There we go. I didn't want to show me spending 3 hours placing rocks in different places over and over again. I thought that would be a bit boring for you guys and girls to watch. But as you can see, the rock work is pretty much done as well. And let's move on to the back of it and I'll show you my thought process and what I did back here. So as you can see, this is the actual back of the habitat. So this is where our zookeepers will enter eventually once it's complete. And I created this kind of like what would you call it, like a cave I suppose, where our ibexes can go in and they can get some hard shelter out of it. And I obviously put the bedding in there as well, so our lovely Alpine Ibexes can have a lie down, have a sleep in their lovely little cave. And then it was just time for me to just add a hell of a lot of even more rock work and add a little water fountain. This is what you can see me doing here, adding the individual pieces, so the waterfall bottom, the waterfall midsection, and then we ended up obviously adding a little form, so it makes it more realistic that the water is actually coming down this stream and then separating into 2 little streams and then gathering at the bottom where our little moats, remember we placed that little moat, that's where it will end up. And then coming from the top as well, you can see me just putting the waterfall topping it here and trying to make it look like it's actually coming out of the rocks. The water stream is coming out of the rocks. I'm really happy with this build. By the way, if you want this habitat in your own zoos, you can. The link to my Steam Workshop page is in the description below. Click on that, you can download this habitat, have it in your own zoos. There'll probably be a bit of instruction as well of how to place this, because I know a lot of you do struggle with placing habitat blueprints. What you can get off the Steam Workshop, so I'll probably have some instructions of how to do that. And anything I build really, it'll be all over my social media, so if you want to follow me on Twitch, Instagram, anything like that, to keep up to date with any creations I build, especially with the new pack, the Europe pack being recently released. I'm going to be building a habitat pretty much for every animal. I've already done the European Badger, this is the Alpine Ibex. I'm not sure what I'm going to do next, so stay tuned for that. See, we're just adding a load of different foliage, and I say it all the time, rock work and foliage make any habitat come alive. You can have the most basic habitat ever, add a load of rock work, add a load of foliage, and boom, you've probably got a really advanced looking habitat as well. Now let's talk a little bit about the actual Alpine Ibex. So the Alpine Ibex is actually a species of goat, and their natural habitat is very rock dense, hence why I did this habitat with like 90% rock work. The Alpine Ibex are strictly herbivores, which, you know, over half of the diet consisting of grasses and the remainder being a mixture of mosses, flowers, leaves and twigs. Hence that's why I put quite a lot of moss rocks as well, and some flowers and some trees in there for them. And in my personal opinion, these really are such a beautiful animal. In fact, comment down below now in the comment section of this video, tell me what your favourite animal of the new Europe pack is. It'd be interesting to find out your opinions. And boom, just like that, this is what it looked like when all the foliage was in and complete. And it was that time again to create a custom fence, and I went with the same theme once again. So we went with the logs, the mesh piece in the middle, some I would say concrete bottoms to make it more realistic, as well as throwing some beams in there to give it more detail and to keep that realistic theme. Now we've created that custom barrier, it was time to now put the custom barriers in place to complete our habitat. You can see just at the back there, that little rock formation I've also created to add a little bit of a difference and to create a natural barrier for our habitat so our animals can't escape. That's the barriers complete and in place. Let's add a bit of foliage. Again, like I always said, foliage makes any habitat. So just some bushes around the edges and some natural looking trees, plants and greenery. And that is it. It is complete. Our animals are in. Our guests are viewing our animals and everything has worked out smoothly. And I'm really happy with how this habitat turned out looking. I really am. Our lovely Alpine Ibexes are free to roam pretty much everywhere. It's very traversable, this habitat, as you can see one on the midsection rock here. And just exiting the water at the bottom of the habitat is another Ibex here just shaking off. They can also enter the cave at the back and have a little nap there in the hard shelter if they wish to do so. And finally, my name is Adam. I hope you have a wonderful day. Hit that subscribe button if you're new around here, new or old, smash that like button, and I will see you in the next Planet Zoo video.